Hey everyone, it's Jordan from the Colorado Cantina crew, and I'm here to introduce you to our YouTube channel. We're here for our first edition of our little podcast and some live gameplay afterwards, and I'm joined by my teammates Kyle Kraft and Sharkey. We just got back from 2 intense weeks of competitive SWU, starting in Atlanta at the beginning of the set at the Battle of Atlanta from the Boston Network. Had a great time there playing in the team event and then the 6Ks as well. And then right afterwards, thrown out of the frying pan, as they say, back into Denver Sectors. Had a great time there. We're going to talk about both those weekends. We're going to talk about an issue that I'm having because I'm a Django player and I'm looking for a new home. And we're going to kind of introduce you to what we're all about here at the Colorado Cantina crew. So Kyle Kraft, what's up, man? Good to have you here.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here. I guess we're doing being our first episode, a little bit of an introduction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my name is Kyle Kraft. I think maybe some people out there might know me from being kind of an old man, card player from back in the day. So I started with Magic in the early 90s, but I really got into the Decipher games. So I played the Decipher Star Wars CCG quite heavily, the Lord of the Rings CCG, as well as the Star Trek CCG. At one point, I was ranked top 10 in the world in all three, so it was a really good time. I will say, though, that when the Decipher games met their end, 2003 or so, I took a break from competitive card gaming altogether. Got married, raised a family, that sort of thing. But Star Wars Unlimited got me back in, so I'm excited to be really playing a competitive card game again, making new friends, reconnecting with some old friends, as I've been able to do over the past couple of months. And so, it's been a great time. We've had some success, and I'm just really excited to be playing here with my friends. So I think that's a good enough introduction for myself.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, really. When you were excelling at Star Wars, I was 9, so I wasn't as good at that game. I really did take the Lord of the Rings Decipher game super competitively. I still play that online sometimes as well. Great communities there. It's awesome when you see a dead TCG, as they say, kind of withstand the test of time, and it brings people together. So last week we had the KTOD meetup here in Denver, and honestly, you see a lot of those people that are you either new from back of the Decipher games or from other games that you play or other communities online. And that's one of the fun parts about this Star Wars hobby overall is I really feel like it has brought a lot of those people back. And I remember when we were in Atlanta, Kyle, we ran into this kid, I think he was 14, 15 years old, that had a Star Wars CCG Players Council box. And I was like, well, I was 9 when you were playing this game, so you clearly weren't alive, and it's just cool to see that kind of spread and continue there. Next to me, unfortunately, we have Kyle Sharkey as well. He has a little bit more recent experience, right? I know you played Destiny for a while and a little bit of X-Wing too, right?
I played a bit of X-Wing. I didn't play that competitively. Mm-hmm. I got a little bit competitive with Destiny. My main competitive game is a niche game called Mage Wars, which is a little more of like a hybrid between a board game and a card game. So after Destiny died, I'd kind of sworn off CCG type games, and Unlimited brought me back. So I've been back trying to make the off the wall decks work way too often, and being at least relatively competitive with it. So
hey, you have to start somewhere, and it is good to be back, right? And I grew up in like the heyday of TCGs, so it kind of, was always like a nice warm place in my heart. Now it's time to get back. Okay, so we had the Battle of Atlanta, which honestly to me, I was excited for both weekends, right? Being able to get some practice at the beginning of the set and then going into sectors. But overall, man, Atlanta just surpassed all expectations. It was by far the hardest field that I had ever played in. It felt like every single game I was playing against, you saw a top 4 initiative token, you were playing another PQ winner or something along those lines. And not only that, everybody was pretty cool, right? I only had a couple scandalous moments here that maybe we'll talk about in other episodes. But overall, like it was a great time. The 3v3 format was amazing, and I really thought that it put us in a great situation to practice for sectors. Kyle, what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the team format. It was a lot of different thinking. It gave us a lot of time as a group, right, to try to think through like what's our strategy going to be? What type of decks do we want to play? It kind of forced us each to be playing something different going into it. I mean, I think that the real shining, the star of that weekend was the team event. It was cool too because then we got to sit across from other teams, meet them, kind of talk through how they approach things, how they were working on it. We had a little bit of success. I think we went 2-2, right? So we got a couple wins in there.
Yep.
But I really enjoyed that part of it. The 6Ks were like, they were like a standard tournament, except for, to your point, way harder competition, right? You don't get that warm-up game. I'm used to, you go to a big tournament, you sit down against like a Hera round one. You're like, all right, let's warm this up, In that tournament, no way, man. I'm going to sit down across a PQ winner immediately, and then I'm going right into another really, really good player. So, I think it was hard to go more than kind of 50-50 on the weekend for most because the level of competition was so high. I look forward to, hopefully we're going to have more of these events in the future, play around with the formats, maybe get some limited going on, that sort of thing. But I just thought it was a really cool weekend. So if it happens again, I'll definitely be there. So it was great.
And they announced the next one for November. We're going to try to get 2 teams from the Cantina crew down there for that one. But overall, just fully agree. Every single day was hard. At Sectors, I had a really good run to start, but hey, it was the first game I played was against a Hera Lake Country. You didn't get those types of games off, and even if you did, it was a player who was extremely good playing that off-meta deck, and we had some good success as a team. We made it to the top of our region and lost to one of the Bothan teams with Rebel Resource, Mickey D, and Lego Pizza, but unfortunately, we kind of threw Sharkey to the wolves in that matchup as we didn't necessarily expect the pairings to go the way they did, and ended up with a Kaz Tarkintown player matched into Sabine Yellow from Rebel Resource, and that's a really tough matchup for Kaz.
It's a tough matchup, but also he's a pretty good player.
Oh, absolutely.
So I was just happy to take a game off him, and I honestly almost snuck away with one of the other games too. So overall, yeah, it was a tough one, but it was still fun to be there.
Yeah.
Super fun.
And that's what takes us to talking about how you match those things up. In our head, and for that game, we won initiative. I was playing Jango. We sat myself down first, and we were expecting for me to get sat into Lego Pizza to have the Jango mirror out of the way. Surprisingly, they put Mickey D on Quin Tarkintown into me, and then we kind of had to work from there. So that's what adds the extra layer of strategy from the team event, and I think that leads you to thinking from a lot of different perspectives. So leaving Atlanta behind us, then we had Denver Sectors. We had some great conversation back and forth in our team Discord about how the weekend went and stuff like that. I was playing Jango. I started off 5-0, ended up 6-3, and missed day 2 by 1 game. Kyle, I think you were 6-3 as well. Sharky, what did you end up on the weekend?
I think I made it to 4-3. I lost my round 7 in a close one, and then it decided it was just best for me to go home and get dinner.
Yeah. And as a Kaz Security player, I think one of the things we'll talk about is that Jango is not here anymore, right? For me, it was I want to play mirrors. I want to play as many opponents as I can because I'm playing the best deck in the format. As a Kaz Security player, now a little bit of that weight is lifted off the shoulder, and you could kind of don't have to dedicate 6 to 8, 9 cards in your deck to deal with some of the nonsense that Jango Tarkintown does.
Yeah, I've got some experience now with the post-Jango meta.
On the other side, though, I'm stuck without a home, right? We have Kyle, who is a very comfortable Kira Green player, who plays Sabine, plays Quin Tarkintown, different Han variants. We have Sharkey, who really mains Kaz Tarkintown and then plays things around the edges of that, but I would say mostly red yellow is the area. And myself, I've been maining Jango for the past 2 months, basically, since the set got leaked, so we could practice for the team event into Sectors. But I have played a lot of Sabine. I have a PQ win with Sabine. I like aggro overall. I also enjoy hard control. So I'm here trying to figure out what my next move is, where I really appreciate some of that openness that a lot of non-Jango players are experiencing. I know both of you guys feel that way, but for me, it's like I'm hunting, right? So I don't know what's next exactly for me. We have 3 things that we'll talk about later. But Kyle, for you, what decks outside of Kira and the ones mentioned, what are the ones that you think are going to see the kind of biggest rise here in the post-Jango world?
Yeah. And I'm going to say something here about what you just mentioned there as far as the deck, from our different play styles. From my perspective, Jordan, you're always the one willing to play the evil deck, right? You're the one who's going to play the Boss Blue, the Jango, whatever the deck is that everybody hates. That's probably what Jordan's playing.
Probably.
Right? I feel like I'm the one who's just one tier below. I refuse to play the evil deck, so I always play the one just under it, right? So like out here in Colorado at the Sectors, I could have played Jango, but I just refused. I didn't want to. You know what I mean? So I was on Quinlan, and we did okay. We missed making day 2 in our final game by a top deck TDR Devastator, right? Of course. So it is what it is. And then, of course, Sharky, you're always playing the one that's the wild deck, right? the one that's outside of the top tiers, right? So I think it's pretty cool, though, since we kind of have all those different layers at least in this group, to be able to, focus on different levels of decks or different styles of decks, right? So anyway, as far as what's going to go into the meta, I think a lot of people are on the same page here. Quinlan's going to be strong. Sabine's going to be strong. Han's going to be interesting with DJ going away. I don't think that means Han Yellow goes away. In fact, that's what I'm playing with right now. Han Green, maybe we see that one rise up. A couple different variants there. I think a lot of the regular characters are going to be around. The one I'm most excited for is the return of Blue Green Villain. Right. I won my PQ in set 2 with Kira. She's my girl. Of course I'm going to go back to Kira. But she was really held down by Jango. Like I could surface my whole deck just to beat Jango, but then I lose everything else. Right. So it made it so you couldn't really run Kira into an open field and have a realistic chance of trying to make a day 2. I mean, you could get wins, maybe you could dodge matchups, but it just wasn't the best pick. So I think she's back. I'm excited for her. Maybe some Palp. That sort of thing. But, I think a lot of the characters that were being helped down are going to come back. But, I'll be interested to see, Sharkey, what you think, though, right? Being our kind of wild man, right? What are the decks that I'm not considering that are going to be coming up? Because I'm sure you got a few in mind.
Yeah, there's definitely a few that I'm expecting to see a lot of. Whether they're going to end up being good or not is a different story. I know I'm personally still working on both Boba Yellow and Von Reg Yellow. And I believe both of those have legs in the current meta, partially fueled by the fact that I believe that there will be a bigger swing to harder control that is now more open. And so the two previously mentioned decks, for example, are if you can stick a pilot onto Lurking Tie Phantom, then they really don't have a good answer for it. Additionally, I can see it being a little bit more of an open field in that people still are exploring things before they figure out what to target. With a lack of target, it means that you're going to get some off-the-wall decks that you're probably not ready for, partially because no one has any game into it already. And so you'll see a few of them at least sneak through the cracks, and eventually a pattern will emerge, and the control decks will be able to start targeting that and probably keeping at least some of the weird ones out. I expect Richmond to be pretty weird, and I wouldn't be surprised if Minneapolis, by the time we get back around to that, is a little more established.
Yeah.
My hope is that Quin Tarkintown continues to play as well as it has in testing for me, but some of it's also just I've been playing the deck for so long that I can outplay almost anybody who hasn't had close to as much experience with it as I have. So some of that is determining what's good test data, what's not. But I do expect, of the decks that you didn't mention, the harder control stuff to start showing back up.
Yeah, and to mention off of testing, that's what this portion of life is right now, testing these assumptions that we have to figure out what the meta may or may not be. Say what you want about Jango, but a lot of people either enjoyed playing him or enjoyed the results that playing him brought in part, right? So there's a lot of people looking for that new area, and there's a lot of these new assumptions to be tested. Today, as we do some gameplay, we'll be messing with Sabine, Quin, and Kaz Vs Security Complex. Two of those are more or less known commodities with some flavor in between. To your point, sometimes playing a deck that's slightly off meta gives you an ability to, sneak through in some situations that you wouldn't otherwise. And then another assumption that we probably want to test at some point is, are these indirect decks, one, very good against control in certain ways because there's no units or not as many units to really soak up that burst damage, or two, do they have a world to exist, the Boba one specifically, without TDR? I mean, these are things that we will find out here in the next couple weeks as we talk about Deck A, Deck B, or Deck C. And speaking of that, let's just dive into the decks that we'll kind of be messing with today, and we'll see how they go. The first one we'll pull up here is Quin Tarkintown, right? Kind of a standard build. Like I said, I'm an old school Sabine player. I really like playing Sabine, but right now it feels like if you're not playing yellow, you're kind of wrong. Kyle, does it feel like that for you on the aggro side at least?
Yeah, I mean, well, you could get away with it. Obviously, Sabine ECL without yellow, but yellow just brings a lot. I mean, yellow brings tools to every type of deck you want to play, right? Mm-hmm. At any level you want to play. And I think I'm not saying anything crazy here. I just think that yellow in general it's got the best stuff, right? I think the way it's kind of dispersed now, you can kind of do it anyway, right? And so Quin, even itself, as you pulling up this list, I think there's a few different ways to play it. You can go a little slower. You can go really hand haste. I think this is the list that you're running right now. I'm going a bit more aggressive. I'm going with the one drops, that sort of thing. Trying to get the pings, trying to go wide, harder, and faster. I've seen some lists that are going a little more space heavy, that sort of thing. But yeah, to answer your question, I mean, I think yellow is just, it's the color to start from, figure out where to pair it from. But I don't think that changes. I think, probably the majority of the best decks are still going to be yellow in some way, right?
Yeah, and whether it's villain or hero, you get a great package of things doing different aspects of hand disruption, exhaust, bounce, whatever you may be. I'm definitely going to be checking out the lower to the ground version, but a common complaint that I've seen in a lot of the Quinlan conversation is that he runs out of gas or has a tendency to run out of gas. So I'm trying to build this first approach with keeping that in mind and trying to just take it from there. Going on to the next deck that I've been working on, Sabine, kind of old faithful. Not a ton of changes for the set. We have Sabine's Masterpiece coming in. We have the Phoenix Squadron A-Wing. We have the Blue Leader. We have Darksaber joining the party again. And then in the sideboard, Cham is a new ad and stuff like that. But overall, it's a strong deck. It's a consistent deck. It's a deck that probably is less favored than it used to be. But at least from my perspective, you don't really feel out of it in a lot of situations. You have a lot of 50-50 matchups where you can express player skill. Kyle, I know you've had a great run with Sabine last set, taking runner-up at the Utah PQ. But Sharkey, you've played against Sabine a lot in a dominant matchup with CAD. So tell me why I should consider playing Sabine, not why I shouldn't consider playing Sabine.
I think, honestly, Sabine is probably one of the best positioned decks to come back from where she was. She was good in a Jango in a Jango meta, but didn't feel as good as maybe she did in sets 2 and 3-ish. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't reach those heights again, because I think that without Jango holding a lot of it back, even the best decks will still have some bad matchups, but Sabine is never really out of a game.
Yep.
I've never felt the ability to be on cruise control against Sabine. She can just flip a board, flip a game, steal a game that you're handily in control of out of nowhere. And I think that there's something to be said for having that kind of late game, pull a game back from one that you think you might have lost. And I think the new tools, especially from both the Von Rig and Cad Bane's standpoint, Sabine's Masterpiece is a fantastic card that comes in and just causes a high threat unit. So you have to start bending to some of the earlier new threats instead of just worrying about the Poe and Wrecker ECLs. And I think that some of the new tools give her at least a leg up in a lot of aggro matchups too. And so she's well positioned, I think, to push speed and damage to a point where if someone's on the back foot, they can't recover.
And maybe Chewie adds that insurance against bounce. Maybe the issue of running out of gas that Quinlan experiences is kind of mitigated with some of the tools that Sabine has, Poe, Wrecker, ECL, Timely, etc., and For Cause, not to mention, obviously you can play that in Quin as well. But maybe it's just that deck where you go into a tournament and you say, hey, I'm playing 9 rounds and I'm going to work my butt off in probably 7 of them, and maybe that's okay. Right. Okay. So then the next option, right?
Oh, hold on Sabine real quick.
Yeah, please.
I would say, so the conversation here is let's find Jordan a deck, right? I think Sabine has a couple of specific advantages. As you guys just talked about there, I don't ever feel like when I sit down with Sabine and I flip my leader, I flip my base, they flip theirs. There's no matchup that I look at and go, oh, I'm just toast here, right? With other decks, there's certainly sometimes they flip their leader. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a problem, right? Sabine, I feel like you're always in it. But I think the second part, though, is the mental advantage of playing Sabine, especially in larger events. And, what I'm talking about there, of course, is the short games, right? Quick games, getting a lot of rest, being able to, in between games, use the restroom, get something to drink, go listen to some music, that sort of thing. I find that to be a really, really important thing rather than grind matchups. So even with a deck like this, it's not even the deck or it's the meta itself. It's the speed at which the deck plays, I think, is a consideration, with you when you're trying to find a deck, especially that you want to play into larger events.
Totally.
I mean, it's definitely a significant factor.
The quality of life ratings for Sabine are almost unrivaled, right? That's just the way it is, and it's a fact. Okay, so the next deck that we'll be talking about is Kaz Blue. And it's definitely an off-meta contender. And you might say, oh, well, you're playing yellow. Why not just play Han? Why not just stick to Quinlan? I don't know if I have a great answer to that. I like Kaz. I like the mechanics of Kaz. I like being able to flip on 4. And with this deck specifically, I like being able to play overstated units ahead of curve, right? We have the 3/5 corporate defense shuttle that starts off. Maybe you put a shield on it, maybe you don't. You have the fireball, which ambushes at 3/3 that you could stay alive. You have the contracted hunter with ambushes at 4/4 for 3 that you could keep alive as well. You have access to the Jakar freighter that's a 6/7 in space, and all these units have downsides that I'm, conveniently leaving out because Kaz can leave them out as well. This is a deck that I've been working on a lot since Jango came down a few days ago. I know that Sharkey has played with it a little bit. I've played against Kyle with it, and then mostly I've been doing online testing since then. Sharkey, we'll start with you. What were your first impressions when you took the deck for a spin?
So based on our previous conversation, this may shock you, but this is actually my favorite of the 3.
Okay.
It is definitely an attack from a different angle than you're used to, being able to play a lot of the overstated units with some really generally debilitating drawbacks that are not really drawbacks with Kaz if you're aware of how many you try to start stacking up. Mm-hmm. So one of the player skill expressions is how to use Kaz's ability to turn off the bad stuff and what order and where to do that. And I like that a lot. The potential to blow a game out because someone wasn't prepared for whichever of these toolboxy things you can kind of fit onto the field is very strong. The ability to just push damage too with some of these really big units that frankly are coming out way early is an ability that not many leaders can actually push.
Yeah, and it's defensive, it's a very offensive as well, and I like that mix. That being said, there's a lot of tweaking that still needs to be done. There's some matchups that are really tough for it, namely hard control, and otherwise, namely a matchup that I played against Kyle the other night in Han Green. I found that ramping kind of negates that main advantage of playing these overstated units early. Kyle, what were your impressions of the deck?
Yeah, I like the surprise factor, right? Like, I sat down to play against you, and I was like, I had an idea of like, at first I think, well, how would I build this deck? But that's all I really know about it, right? Is trying to think of like what I think makes sense in it. But then you're playing some surprising things that I hadn't really thought about, like the speeder, the one that does damage to itself when it comes out. Man, that thing comes out hard and fast, right? So that sort of thing could be surprising. You could definitely get somebody with that, right? But to your point, I think this deck, it's going to have some drawbacks, right? You're trying to stick one of those early units. You're trying to be advantaged, right? Like a Han, Falcon, same problem Sabine might have with a space start. Mm-hmm. These sorts of things where if I can disrupt your initial turn or two by either killing a unit or bouncing units, I think it's an effective way to mitigate this. And then you kind of run into the gas issue. I mean, I see now that you've added like Luke, maybe a couple bigger things to try to extend a little bit. But certainly the attack vector would be, disrupt your first couple of turns and then try to kind of hold you off from there. But I do really like the deck. I think it's super interesting.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that sort of early disruption. I won't lie, but you can continue to gain some momentum potentially, and we'll test that out as we play. What I found is that it's pretty good into Quin Tarkintown. It's okay into Sabine. It feels fine into Han. Cad actually feels okay, and Kira, the softer control stuff has felt decent, and that's an assumption that I want to test in some more controlled testing with Kyle in the coming weeks. But the Contracted Hunter ambushing into Kira on flip has been very nice, and the ability to kind of bounce out of the way some Sentinels if that play line is blocked has been very good as well. You mentioned the speeder. I kind of look at the speeder in a package with you, Lauren, because it allows you to do some toolboxy stuff where if you select shielded, you could have a fully statted non-damaged speeder. If you select grit, you could get a buff there. It's also another receptacle for Kaz and other pilots. So some fun things there as well. Right now, I don't know which way I'm leaning, honestly. Like Sabine, like I said, that feels like I'm wrong for not playing yellow.
Just old reliable, right?
Yeah.
Sabine, it feels comfortable. You can just lay right back into it.
Yeah, I could go back, but I feel limited in certain senses, right? Quinlan feels very fun and also toolboxy and something that I definitely want to explore a little bit. And this Kaz one, I probably have the most fun playing. That's probably because it's new in certain ways. But let's stick around for a second. We're going to hop into some gameplay and we'll test those assumptions. All right, getting started here with the gameplay. I'm piloting Kaz Security Complex with Sharkey on Quin Tarkintown. Let's get into it. We're going to roll for initiative, red or blue?
Red.
It is red.
Hey.
He has it. You gonna give it to me or what?
Yeah, you can have it.
Okay.
Interesting that you'd pass it there. I guess the idea is you're trying to get off a ping. He's got security complex, though, so getting that value is going to be tough.
Yeah. Some of it depends on, well, the hand that I'm drawing too, but I'd rather give it to him first and
See what happens
see
from
it.
there.
Are you seeing this? Oh boy.
So we have our hand cams up here. Sharkey is not looking at mine, and I am not looking at his. But I'll pass.
Sorry, give me one second. I still have a resource.
Okay.
Like a nerd. We're just gonna do that. You said you're gonna pass.
Yep.
I think we get a little spicy then. We're just gonna go ahead and spark you.
Okay.
See what we got. We've got a fireball, a Hera, dilapidated ski speeder, and a shattered hover tank. We'll pull the fireball out of your hand.
Okay, fireball is out. I'll pay 2 for Hera.
Okay, and I will claim that.
And I'll pass.
All right. So I think we keep this one and we resource that one.
So who do we think's favored here? I guess if I was sitting down, I had both these decks available to me. I know less about Kaz, right? So maybe I'd be more comfortable with Quinlan. I'd be feeling in a better seat there. But I don't know.
I think the general consensus would say Quinlan. In my online testing, at least, this has felt pretty good in this matchup. But that's what the test is, right? To see if this sort of thing works. In theory, like, I could defend on the ground here. I could defend on the ground here. I could push stuff in space, right? You're going to ping me for 1?
Yep, we're going to ping you for 1. I do believe that it's probably about as close to a 50-50 as you get from a deck standpoint. It's a matter of who can exert their will.
2 to base.
2 to base.
You got 2
that's
here?
right.
Yeah.
1, 2.
We're not doing this anymore.
Sabine's definitely what you're looking for there, right?
Yeah,
Shuts down.
exactly.
He's probably not going to security complex now.
fine.
Just ping
Okay.
that off.
I'll play Dilapidated Ski Speeder. Does 3 damage to itself.
Yep.
And then I'll put a shield on it with Security Complex.
Cool. Sounds good.
And I will pass.
Okay.
That thing's got a 7 butt, right? So
Yep.
3 damage, it's still got 4 health.
4 health
That
left.
is
Yep.
correct. So we're going to put
Some
that.
solid options for the turn here where I could really play either one of my either 4 or 3 drops here and see how the turn takes it.
So with this hand, based on what he's trying to do, I think I have to make a less than optimal play here. But I think it's going to work. Because that's doing 3, and I don't really want him getting into a unit. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 on a surprise strike.
Okay.
Sabine will
Ping
and then kill
got it.
the speeder and die in the process.
Not bad. And you have 2 resources up.
I have 2 up, that's correct.
Okay. I'll take 2 to base.
Yeah, I will do that. I will follow that up with Tarkintown.
Okay.
I'll use that one.
Okay. So I think now I just play this. The question is, though, do I want to deploy to it or do I want to have some other stuff mess around? I'll play the Shadowed Hover Tank.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and claim.
So, Kyle, what do you think the move is here? Deploy into it or make a unit?
Yeah, what's the punish with Quinlan, right? If you deploy into it, it's going to have, 6 health? It's not like he has units out to plow you yet.
The real punish is Bamboozle.
Yep. If he's running it, I guess
fair.
Waylay too, right? So,
Yeah. And to break the 4th wall, he's running my Quinlan deck, which I know
So he
has
knows it very
Bamboozle.
well.
So I'm just going to deploy Kaz as a unit and take my 2 to base.
yeah, I think that's safe. That's much
I think that
safer.
is the safe way to do it.
You're already ahead in the race.
And
You
then I'll
got
pass.
control of the board. You're ahead in the race. Take it while you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I generally agree with that too. So we'll do that. And so in this case, I think we just don't get cute with it. I think we still just deal with the hover tank and we spend 5, put plow into it, and we don't even bother with the ping.
Okay.
I'm going to take 5 back. I'm not using Quinlan much, but I think that's okay.
I'll play the Village Protectors.
The village people. Sounds good. I'll flip Quinlan.
I think I don't want Plo hanging out here, so I'm gonna kill Plo.
Okay. Plo is
Take
now
3 down.
down. And there's 3 back. And at this point, I think I claim.
Okay. So yeah, that hover tank did kind of hurt because I wanted to be able to put Anakin onto it.
Yeah.
But alas, here we are. All right, I'll pass.
All right. Yeah, and with this hand, I think we made the right call.
So this is a tough resource decision for me. I think I'm gonna put this down.
Being an inexperienced Quinlan player, I feel pretty good about where my hand is.
We're both at 6 resources.
Not super inexperienced, I guess, but ready to rock?
Yep.
We're gonna spend 5, and guess who's back?
Plo.
Plo. We're gonna ping and then kill.
Okay, that hurts.
And we get those
The
2.
speeder there would have been
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
gonna
Ping,
fight,
kill.
Like I think
would have been
the
super.
surprise
Yeah,
strike
leave
and
you with
lack of
more
a unit was
choices.
a good play. Because we are still at least vaguely the control.
I'll take 2 to base.
Yep. I will go ahead and knock out Anakin from his
Okay, 2
battlefield, I
back
guess.
to you. I'll just play the Jakar frigate.
Yep. Oops, sorry, Carl. I'm going to go ahead and claim.
I'll pass.
All right.
So you really slowed down my flip turn and my 5. I'm feeling okay. I would like to have a little bit more damage on board, but I feel like this outside of bounds is kind of hard for Quinlan to handle, the 6-7 in space. So we'll see how it
Pretty big
goes.
thing. And I'm at 7 resources now. All right.
Yep.
Well, let's start with the thing that saves us some damage. We're going to bamboozle that and exhaust it.
Okay.
Probably hoping to draw a bounce, push the advantage,
Yeah.
flip this around, right? I think Quinlan, if you don't have a wide board already on Kaz, is going to be able to start pushing a lot harder.
Yeah.
You're going to start seeing some
2
blasters and surprise strikes.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 5. We're going to bring out Poe Dameron, and we'll use Quinlan to ping 1 more onto Kaz.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to having to deal with that either. I'll smuggle out an L3.
Okay. I assume you would like that.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and start making it roughly even. We'll put 6 on base. So I think on board we're looking ahead right now.
Yeah, I'll claim.
And I'll knock 3 more on your base, and I'm good to go.
Okay.
And I'm just going to stay.
While you guys are thinking that through, I guess we didn't mention earlier, but SCG Con Denver's going on. There's a 1K going on for Sunday that we're not at. I know some of you guys went yesterday, but
Yeah.
I got a list of the leaders. It's some of what we talked about, although a couple of Bosk Blues, Sabine, Quin, 2 Kazes though, which is pretty cool.
Which Kaz's?
A yellow and a both yellow.
Nice.
Or no, a Tarkintown and a yellow, so not the blue. Let's see, we got
I'll
Pout,
waylay
Luke
Pout.
Data Vault, Piet. We didn't talk about Piet. Piet's going to be out,
Oh
one
yeah,
of those
Piet's
decks
gonna
will
be
be
out
around.
there.
Yeah, Piet's an interesting
Yeah.
one.
Akira, Von Reg, and Boba Yellow. So, kind of most of the usual suspects, but
Yeah, the Von
interesting
Reg
to see
is
some
very
of the.
similar to the deck I'm running.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and play Poe back, and we'll kill Kaz with Quinlan.
Okay. I'll put Anakin on the frigate.
Okay, cards in hand.
1.
Cool. Let's get rid of it. Force throw.
Hera.
Hera is 2. I think we just toss it up here
Okay.
just to mitigate some of the damage that we're about to take.
I'll do 8 to base.
I think.
Oh,
it's
excuse me.
6,
Sorry,
right?
6 base because I couldn't blank with Kaz. Yeah.
Yeah, just double checking. Did I just give myself too much? I did. Should be at 16 if I'm tracking right.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll put 6 on yours.
So I'm at 16.
Yeah, that Plo Koon's bad news, man.
It definitely is. And I can't kill it in one shot, which is not great for me.
And Plo and Poe. That's a weird thing to say. are both very good together.
I'm just gonna claim.
Okay, and then I'll put 3 on base, and then I will be good to go.
Okay.
All right. Oh, that was an easy choice.
I don't see how you deal with those two both in one action. Looking like Kaz going down.
Yep.
Based on what I know about the list, I don't know, but something to consider might be outmaneuver.
So I could do 8 damage here, which gets you to 24, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, and I can finish you.
Yeah, so I'll blank this and do 8 to base, and then you got the first one. Good game.
Yep, because I've got a gun in the row.
Yeah.
So.
You didn't even need the gun, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You only had to do
You
6.
6 still with Poe.
Oh, I had to do 6. Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. I was thinking if he didn't claim, I was going to. I got ahead of myself.
Either one of them was straight attack.
But not amazing, I'd say. This is the sideboard that I'm currently messing with. Lando's Falcon, Village Protector, Bamboozle, Fell the Dragon, Hover Tank. Maybe I'll bring in a Hover Tank.
I think you need anything you get to press the advantage early. Yeah. You know, I think you're trying to negate the Tarkintown with your shield complex, and you're definitely that beat down here. You gotta get in faster.
Yeah.
I think we want to bring the Grogu and the 2 Fang fighters in.
I like Grogu. Yeah.
If
If he gets that frigate going or any of that sort of stuff, Grogu can just slow. I mean, what we just talked about, right? Your plan is just to slow him down. You're going to win the game if you're in a good spot on 5 resources on the Quinlan flip. You're probably going to win.
slow him down enough.
So I feel like if I got one more turn, Luke could have come in pretty nicely, but
yeah, that's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
So I think I take out Han because Han at 7 is.
Or like those contracted hunters would have been very helpful to try to clean up the ground a little bit.
Yeah.
I think what really got it though for you was the surprise strike with Sabine, taking out that unit.
That was, it didn't feel good in the moment, but it's one of those, like, you had to do it, because otherwise that was going to get out of hand.
Yeah, because then I could have put Kaz onto it, and then had the hover tank to follow up the next turn.
Yeah.
But, well played. Good stuff.
What's some, I think I need less of these right now.
Maybe giving the listeners an idea of kind of when this is being recorded, but looks like McElroy's settling down. They're through 9 holes. He's got his lead, right? So
yeah, Masters Sunday is when we are recording this. Probably post a couple days later, depending on how everything goes. All right. So that didn't feel too bad, though, realistically speaking. 1 action.
You definitely had a good shot at the game, and I think that's not an unusual draw. It's not like one of us bricked or one of us was like particularly good either.
I just didn't have any way to clean up that stuff on it. I was lucky with the waylay with Poe.
Yeah,
because I could, he's just so hard to beat.
You got to find a way to deal with him. I'm having the same problem with Von Reg.
Yeah.
Some kind of way to deal with a Poe or keep Plo from getting coordinate triggered. That one's a little less easy to do because I feel like there's 1 card answers to Poe, but I don't know. You have Fell the Dragon in there, right?
Yeah, but I don't really want that in this match. You know what I mean? I feel like that gums it up a little much.
Not as useful either, because Plo falls under that, right? So.
Exactly.
Yeah, Plo does. I was just thinking like Poe is that big of a deal, but maybe not all the time.
It is funny though, because some Quinlan lists aren't running Poe, which seems odd to me.
He's such a high threat unit.
Poe came in, right, as because I want to play units that have an effect when played, and we're not playing ECL in Quinlan, right?
Yeah.
So I think Poe started to really stick because of Jango, right? We were trying to combat the Jango matchups, and he's a way to attack and kill Jango in 1 action. So it'll be interesting to see if Poe sticks around, right?
Right. I get that he's not flashy when he comes down, but he represents such a high threat unit that he kind of still becomes a pseudo sentinel or pseudo something. You have to deal with him.
Yeah. He forces your opponent to claim a lot too. Like on the flip turn, you slam him. They're like, I got to claim to deal with him. Yeah.
I will go ahead and claim.
And I will pass.
Steal that from
I'll slide it over to you.
Yeah, thank you. That's just so I remember.
So I think this hand is lining up a little bit better for me.
This one's an interesting one.
I don't really love the Harris start, but I like being able to clean things up like that.
I think I'm still playing control for a little longer. And so I pull that out, actually.
I think you're really the control until the Quinlan flip most
kind
of
of what
the
I'm
time.
thinking, too. And with that in mind, we'll go ahead and bop Hera for 2 and lose a shield.
I guess that tells me he's not playing a 2-drop, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means he is playing a 3-drop. I think I'm gonna shield Hera.
Okay. I'm cool with passing.
Okay. I'll take my 2 to base.
And I am good to pass one more time.
Okay.
Yeah, Kaz isn't claiming playing nothing, right? He needs to be the aggressor.
I think he needs to play something. So.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, maybe I'm wrong, but
If he doesn't, you're good with it.
I'll ambush the contracted hunter and.
yep. I mean, I'll ping it, but it may not matter.
Okay. I'll use Kaz to blank the hunter and claim.
It's probably worth it to Tarkintown then, so I'm gonna knock it out.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want it running into your Ezra.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. So, all right, good to go.
Good.
Let me give you that.
Hey, we're feeling good. You're heading to the Kaz flip turn with only 2 damage. You're playing the control the way you want it.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
I'll do 2 to base.
Yeah. I think Ezra hits your base for 3.
Okay.
And we're going to do Ezra's thing here.
Force throw.
I mean, it's a pretty interesting draw. I think we might... No, I don't think we take it, actually.
At the
Okay.
sectors, one of my wins with Quinlan was
Shadow Hover
into
tank.
Django, and it was thanks to an Ezra attack into EMP off the top. Felt great.
That's pretty nuts. I think we still follow the plan. We're going to play Kira, and
Okay.
we'll ping the tank. Yeah, I think Han's going to cost you extra there.
Okay.
I mean, do you ever really want to be putting Kaz in that tank? I guess that's probably like a last.
Well, versus yellow, not particularly.
Yeah.
I'll
Especially
deploy.
yellow where Plo is active.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and claim.
Okay. 2 to base.
Yep, 2 to base. Puts me 1, 2.
And then
I
I'll
think we're good.
pass.
Yeah, now we get interesting. I think I pulled that. I don't really need that. That's not what I'm trying to do. So my first thought is we sacrifice one of those 2 into the tank.
Probably.
Hit by it.
Depends on how bad you want to get an attack off with Ezra and be able to peek at the top, right? You throw Ezra into it, he doesn't complete the attack, so you're not going to get to peek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I guess if you throw Kira into it, you're giving him Han as an option.
right. So I think I throw Ezra at it. Kira's not in any immediate danger from the cards that we're aware of, at least.
I'll do 2 to base, heal 1.
Yep, I'll go ahead and flip Quin.
Okay.
So you said your heart's in this deck, Jordan. This is the one you're hoping ends up being the one?
I would say maybe this or Quinn, but, like I said, this one definitely still has some work to do, but it feels okay.
Kazak's my favorite.
Yeah. 2 to base.
Yep. I would have probably skewed a little heavier space when I was playing it, but that's just me.
I haven't Guyven drawn the Falcons or anything.
Yeah.
Really, that's what I would... In a perfect world, I'd go corporate defense into Falcon.
Yeah.
Especially in this matchup when you don't have much space to deal with it, but
It's very much a good idea.
Just didn't draw it.
Plo knocks that out. Quinn knocks the shield off.
Okay, 2 back.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
I'll play the frigate.
I will bop your... what do you at, 2? Yeah, I'll bop your base for 3.
Oh, I'll claim.
And I'll bop your base for 3 more. Sorry, I should hand that to you. Good to go.
Plan being to just finish Hera off by playing some unit next turn.
That's the thought. We'll see if he lets me do it, or has a choice in the matter.
So I'm at 8. He's 6, 9, 12. Probably
a lot of
could
damage
have some
represented on the-
buffs
on the
for
board.
sure.
I think we just lead with that.
Yeah.
So I'm debating about taking damage or taking my heal.
It's fair. Do you have any, like,
I think I'm just
I
gonna
mean,
take
if you're
the 6.
I think that's fair.
you worried about a bamboozle or a bounce, I guess?
Yeah,
Because Hera's definitely dying, right? I would think
yeah.
first action.
I would assume so as well, but
I'll play Ahsoka, and Quinlan will ping Hera.
okay.
Like, I don't really need the exhaust at this point, but it's still probably good to get rid of a card.
I'll play a frigate.
Ooh, buddy.
What was the discard off of Ahsoka?
Yularen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think we rock 6 to base, and we do some math while we're at it, but
I'll claim.
6 more between these two. What's that put you at? 20? Yeah, I'm threatening lethal as it is. We'll play 2 for Sabine and good to go.
Okay. So I was hoping that I would draw something,
Yeah.
but again, it's going to be 1 action short.
Yep, it's very close.
Yeah.
Surprise strike would have gotten you there.
Yeah, so I have the Han for 2 buff
Oh, man.
that I could afford, which puts 8. Again, another 1 to 24. So 2 games, 24 to 25 or 26, regardless.
Well, so you talked about in the first game. You said you kind of wanted to go ground just to make sure things didn't get out of hand for Quinlan, which, as we can see, did anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's not the strategy, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get overrun there either way. I think your plan is I need to be the aggressor in space.
I'm with him.
So what I really want to draw in this matchup is Falcon, Fireball, or the corporate defense shuttle.
And you didn't see.
And
that
I didn't
at
see
point.
any 3 of those in the
Did you
time where
mull?
it made sense to play it.
Did you mull either game?
mulling for it?
Yeah, I mullied both games looking for them. Because really what I love being able to do is go defend shuttle. You could either attack, shield it, put a pilot on it, or whatever. But yeah, that was not so bad, but some room for growth for sure.
I think the immediate defense shuttle with a shield on it puts the race into higher gear than Quinlan can keep up with immediately.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's obviously the best play, assuming you can find it.
Yeah.
This one might be a little bit chalked up to variance because you didn't actually draw any space.
Yeah, this is the swap I made. Just 1 sideboard card in, Conquer Dawn out.
Oh, yeah.
And other stuff in.
I just pulled these out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think I learned that the deck is trash. Give up on it. It's out of the gauntlet.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not in the gauntlet, but I also didn't get to use any of my nice X-Wing tokens, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Onward,
yeah.
let's do Sabine now.
Sabine's
Would
out
definitely
for
be
the
interested to
lead.
see how a space start goes, right?
Yeah.
I think it feels like it's gonna be the same here with Sabine. I guess we'll find out, right? Like with Sabine, if you can get an aggressive space start, take over there, can you outrun Sabine, right?
This is for Poe.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I'll pull them out in a second.
Yeah.
Let me get your sideboard sorted.
Because Sabine has that finisher potential, right? With the Poe record, I guess you don't really have that with Kaz, right? So you're trying to be the faster player.
Honestly,
Yeah.
with Kaz though, at that
It's
point,
Luke, really.
Honestly, you also just I think you're better off avoiding the ground so that they can't use the Wrecker and Poe, ECL.
Yeah.
Finish that.
Or you try to make sure that you have a shield there to protect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So Quinn performed well. Kaz performed okay, I'd say. Would like it to be better, but such is life.
Well, I mean, one of the things that we actually also are talking about doing for future episodes is go back and analyze it and be like, what changes would we make?
Yeah.
And did we play it wrong? That kind of thing. So
Yeah, it's only a couple of games, but it felt already like you kind of knew that you want a space start. So from a deck construction perspective, maybe what other options you have for turn 1 space starts. Maybe right because you had to start Hera both times, right? Maybe Hera should just be another space option. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm running Hera and Anakin, but I was running Cartel Turncoat over Anakin, and another contender for that spot was the Restored Arc.
oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like the Restored Arc too. I played a little bit of a Poe Blue and a Restored Arc. If I didn't have Black 1, Restored Arc was always felt like a good start.
Yeah.
It's the
Just
same
gotta
kind of
figure
idea.
out
With
survive
Poe
those
Blue,
things.
you could start Restored Arc, throw a shield on it to protect it. I mean, in that deck, you could throw Poe on it right after that, but it's kind of the same game plan. It felt really good.
Yeah. What I definitely want to do is some sort of Fireball corporate defense shuttle, and then having backup is probably good.
Yeah. And if your backup is the Restored Arc in this case, I think that's a good backup. I think that's probably better than Anakin.
Probably.
The more I think about it.
With this package having the ski speeder and the hover tank, I kind of wanted to test more pilots, but I think it's probably not as good as having another space option, because realistically in that game I didn't see any Falcons or Conquered Dawns, which is really my only 3-drop in space.
Yeah. The other part of it is, since
could be an issue.
Kaz is a pilot, you've got that base covered-ish anyway.
Blue or red?
Red. Hey,
Red
we got it again.
is.
Turns out I'm good at calling colors.
Yep.
Wolf.
Okay.
All right, Kyle, you're the Sabine expert between the two of us, right?
Yeah, let's see what we got going on there. I can only kind of see your first card. There's a rifle through them real quick.
Yeah, working on checking. All right, so we got that one.
Yep. Oh, there's the start you want. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the start we want, and I think we put.
Yeah, I think your other two options to start are less favorable given your opponent. You don't want to. That's a card I would definitely not give up, right? So the last one you showed there.
Yeah. I think I put that one down, and I put that one down.
Yep.
And then, I mean, well, hang on a second.
Wait. No.
Between the two of these.
Keep the one on top right now.
Yeah.
It's defensively stronger, right? Yeah,
That's what I was thinking too. But even then, I'm going that route first.
Yep. Agreed. I don't know what he does about that, so that's where you want to be.
I mean, I know what he does about that. I know what I would do about it, at least. Ignore it and hit you harder than
Cad ping Tarkintown.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
All right. Not a great start, but let's see.
All right.
Is it going to be your favorite start again, Hera?
Let's hit each other.
Okay. That's exactly what it's going to be. Hera for 2.
I got to reset and do that.
I don't know about the ping there, to be honest, in this. I feel like I would have started Marine.
Claim.
That way you could guarantee yourself initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. Good to go.
Well, here they come.
I think I keep that.
All right. If he ambushes your Marine now and you don't get the free trade into Hera, you're going to be sad.
Yeah.
You're right.
That would feel bad.
What's that 4/4 thing that he's got?
One, let's see. I think we do that.
Okay. I'll do 2 to base, heal 1.
Yep. I will knock out Hera.
Okay. 2 back and 2 to base as well.
Yeah, you're pinging. Yeah, it definitely costs you there, right? Because now you're sitting at 3, sitting at 0.
Falcon.
Yep. I get it, Kyle. Thanks, buddy. You are correct.
We said I was allowed to call out.
No, you absolutely should be. That being said, do I make up for my mistake and just run that in? No, actually I don't, because that's a Falcon.
No, definitely not.
I'll use Kaz to blank the Falcon and do 3 to base.
Yep. I can math good. I will claim.
I'll shield the Falcon.
Yep.
And I'll pass.
I don't know if this is going to help us that much. But neither's this. So I think we hang on to these.
I think you're hanging those, and that's what you're going for the win with.
I think that's what we got to do. So, all right. You claimed it, right?
Yep.
It's all you, my friend.
No, you claimed.
Oh, did I claim? I steal that? That's right. You played the Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
Rebel Assault.
All right.
Hey.
8 to base.
You got your out of aspect bamboozle ready to go anyway.
That hurts.
You're dang right I do.
That hurts quite a bit.
I mean, who honestly runs out of aspect bamboozle? Oh, wait.
I'll play the ski speeder.
Okay. Do I just do this now? I think I do.
I mean, you don't have anything else, unfortunately.
Yeah. We'll
You'd rather be. I think you'd rather be advancing the board, but that's what you got.
Well, that's all right. 2, 3, and 4. I think we discard everything but the Rebel Assault.
No, don't know. The first one, you haven't used your ECL yet. That first one could be good.
Fair. All right, we'll keep those two on top.
Just think on it anyway.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I'll deploy Kaz onto the Falcon.
I will deploy Sabine.
Okay. And what you put on top? Just the one?
Both the K2 and the Rebel Assault.
Okay.
Those cost 5 put together. Interesting.
Yeah.
So let's do some math here. Oh, and this has 3 damage on it. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, good point.
That would put me at 15. And then...
I mean, when Sabine draws 4 Kaz and at least 2 Rebel Assaults, like, that's tough to deal with.
I'll bamboozle the Sabine.
She has been bamboozled.
That was the game plan into Django, right? Was
Like,
Rebel Assault
I
or
discarded
lose.
the Falcon, by the way, just to let everybody know. I'll do 8 to base and blank the Falcon. Eesh.
Did I do that right? Okay.
Okay,
Right.
and then I'll pass.
I think we know what we're doing.
So now in this matchup, I'm only drawing space.
Yeah, you're going the opposite direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
You weren't taking the ground anyway. I think you kind of wanted space, right?
I want to like stall the ground a little bit so I don't get Rebel assaulted for 8.
So you take.
Oh,
or you're doing.
Speaking of which,
How much are you doing right now?
There's
6.
11.
3 is 11. Yeah, that seems bad for my.
Or no,
altitude.
9. Excuse me.
So I think I start with an ECL K2 and kill that.
Okay.
Let's steal that 3 from me.
Yeah, I'm just out of luck here. 6 to base, blank the Falcon.
Yep.
Do you have lethal or no?
I'm gonna be 1 short.
3. Okay, so.
I think. So if I Rebel Assault, that's 8, right?
Yep. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I'll claim.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think you should have ECL'd, right? So if you lead with Rebel Assault with because he can't trade back with that thing in anything, and you were holding 2 Rebel Assaults, right? Because then you could Rebel Assault again for game.
Well, no, he's still 2.
I'm still gonna be short.
He's 2 short right now, so he would still be
Right.
1 short.
So I think I was
4, 8, 9,
in
10,
a
11,
bad spot
12.
either way.
Yeah. And then I'll
Yeah.
claim, obviously.
Did you have a pump out of curiosity?
No.
So okay, so I was trying to play around a pump. Like if you had a pump at all,
Yeah.
we were done this turn.
So I got that one then?
Yeah, you got that one.
GG.
I think I was trying to play around a pump when I shouldn't have been. I should just, you're right, assaulted first, see what he did, because I was holding another one
You still would have been 1 short, though.
this turn. But if you didn't have a way to do
got it,
extra
got it,
lethal,
got it.
I would have had it.
Yeah. Sabine, you get the benefit of the quick games, but it comes down to 1 action. I think you trace it back to the turn 1, and
Yep.
that was the difference.
Yep. You're right about that one.
With
This
the ping?
Part of it
Yeah,
is
with the ping.
exploring-
And so,
Yeah,
because he
plays
didn't.
Sabine.
Then he didn't take initiative, so you got to hit him with Hera and restore 1.
We put these
Right, if
3
he had not
in,
pinged and
tank,
killed Hera,
Protectors
it
and
was
bamboozle.
This is the sideboard, right?
It was a 3 health swing.
Those come in.
Bamboozle or confiscate?
No, straight up bamboozle.
Yeah.
Actually, these might come in too. Let's see what we take out. Yeah, if you're curious, Jordan, I'm thinking those.
See, I don't know if Right Hope's the right move. Kyle, what do you think?
Yeah, you get a loaded up Falcon or something like that. Just being able to throw it in front of your Falcon for a turn seems like a good potential option.
I was kind of just thinking he should try to be a little bit more aggressive, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, when I played in the past against aggressive space decks like Von Reg and stuff, you can get a game by just if a Bright Hope can just
If it bricks 1
eat
turn,
two
you've made it up.
attacks, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
you win.
Brick in 1 turn can sometimes be enough. So I think I'm going to try it, and I'm going to take that out. I don't think it's very useful in this one.
So one thing I think that's encouraging here about Kaz is that even in the losses, it's been 1 action away.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you want to be using ECL early on Sabine,
Probably,
right?
yeah.
Maybe even to get a space like a Sabine's masterpiece ECL'd into something and surviving. It's just a backbreaker.
Totally.
Yeah, I'd have loved to have seen one there. And I drew the blue leaders too late. It was already shielded, so I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, like really what I gotta hope for is that I could play the Falcon and then shield it.
Yeah, that's tough to deal with. Tell you what, we're gonna leave these out.
I don't think I like Blue Leader and Sabine. It's kind of anti what I'm trying to do with an aggressive style.
Yeah, I just think that with like the space aggro decks, it could really help. And like Wedge, like straight out, just as an example, is like faster than Sabine if it hits some pilots.
Yeah.
So just thinking about it for that sort of thing, really. But just testing it.
Plus, somebody could stick a dilapidated ski speeder on the ground, and it could be a problem. And then on R5, you just bring it to the ground.
So I guess that bamboozle on Sabine ended up being really good.
Oh, that saved you.
Because I was considering not doing that.
I think that won it for you. Because I was, what, 1 damage, 2 damage short?
Yeah, 1 damage. Well, if you 2 damage the way it played out, 1 damage if you did like the optimal sequencing, I guess.
Yeah, and even then, all of that's less than Sabine attacks for. So
yeah,
I think the boozle helped you.
Totally.
All right, that should be good. Here you go.
Mm-hmm. All right, you want it?
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting draw.
Yeah, I'm putting it back. No turn 1 play, but 2 bamboozles, though.
I think I'm between these two on turn 1, but I think I'll start with that.
Yeah. Yeah, the one you're showing, I think, is
We don't
correct.
really want that.
Because there's,
put that down.
well, I don't know. Maybe the other one has insurance against Security Complex, though.
Yeah, that's fair. So we put one of these.
You've got the
down.
initiative?
Yeah. And we put that
Yeah,
down.
you've got the initiative. I'd probably go with the other.
Which,
yeah, the far back one there.
the back one, you'll put that down?
It's,
Or put it, like, play
no,
it first?
I'd lead with it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was leading with. The problem is, do you resource right or left on this one?
Left.
That's what I was thinking too. Cool.
I guess this is a tough. I don't love this hand, but there's some things that I would like to try, but it's a little risky to resource this and not have a play. So, but that play doesn't really help that much anyway. So I don't know. I'm gonna put that down and this down. Resources, hand. All right, let's see how it goes.
Sabine.
My favorite freaking 2-drop, Hera.
Yeah, I'll claim.
Okay. And then I guess I should probably shield it. What do you think, Kyle?
I mean, it gives you an opportunity to survive.
Yeah.
You don't have an option. You don't have it as an option in the space, but it gives you the option to at least trade back. I mean, he's going to kill you for free if you don't.
You know what?
So how bad do you
yeah,
want
he's going to kill me for free, so I'm just going to do it.
Yeah,
Shields.
It's definite free kill otherwise.
Yeah, and then I'll pass.
All right. I can just do that.
Yep.
All right. Ray Rock?
Yep.
Was it 2 to Hera?
1 to base?
No, it was 1 to ping the shield and then 2 to Hera.
Yep, got it.
2 to base.
You can restore 1.
Yeah.
I'll play Cassian.
Okay. I'll play you, Lauren, and I'll choose shielded.
Yikes. I think I just claim it.
Okay, I'll pass.
Ooh, that's fun.
I like it because then you could potentially get both.
Yeah. What would do I put one of these down?
I always hate putting those down, but yeah, probably.
So I do too, but I think I'm okay for the moment. Because I think I start with this, right?
Yeah, and use the
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I think you want an early ECL in this matchup for sure. You're not waiting for Wrecker or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, just
K2's gonna run over Hera.
2 over 1.
2 over 1. I think it's 2 over 1. Sorry, I'm math good.
Cool.
We're good.
I'll play the. Well, hold on.
Okie doke.
Yeah, I'll play the Shadowed Hover tank, and it gets the shields.
I think we run. Do we run Sabine into that? I mean, we're gonna end up losing 2 things either way, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have to though, because you need Cassian to run into it, because Sabine can't kill it. So
Yeah, let's
super
run that.
super annoying.
So 2 damage to the tank. Here you go.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll deploy Kazuda onto here.
How much health that thing got left?
4.
4 health left, yeah. It's an 8/6 with 2 damage on it.
I think I just claim.
I was thinking you got to flip.
Okay.
What butt does Yularen have? How much health again? I
5.
can't see. Yeah, because then he could trade back into your K2, and then you don't have a good trade into it. So I think you flip, because he's probably going to attack with Yularen.
I'll say he can't.
Consider
he can't
claiming
kill,
after that.
Yularen won't kill K2.
I'm just.
Oh, he's
gonna-
only got 1?
Yeah, I'm just gonna claim.
Yeah, I think we should have claimed there.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think my math was right. I couldn't tell what Yularen's attack. I thought he
You
had
can
2
take it back if you
attack.
No, that's fine. I think in this spot.
I mean, honestly, I don't know if you can claim here as Sabine, because then, God forbid, like if I have a village protector or something like that, or
Yeah. I think we just trade.
both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause
Nah,
now
I
we've
think
got a
looking back,
better
he was
board.
probably right to claim.
Yeah.
Based on what
In
was in
hindsight,
your
it's
hand.
probably right to claim, but we're gonna make do with what we got here.
Okay.
Good to go. Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty happy with where we ended up anyway. We don't have any more, do we? Sorry, I've already used Sabine. We'll just flip her over.
I'll play a Shadowed Hover tank.
I will.
And that hover tank is
it's a shield
brutal.
tank, that's right.
What'd you say?
So that hover tank is brutal in this matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yularen doing work.
The fact that he's shielded is really huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Play the masterpiece.
Okay. 1 to base.
I will claim.
Pass.
All right. Let's see.
That was smart. Good job, Sharkey.
Thank you. I did a thing.
Assuming I can tell what you're about to do, I think it was good.
Yeah, I think I do that.
Oh yeah, you start with the masterpiece, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rebel
Ping
Assault.
ping the shield off with the masterpiece.
Masterpiece 4 to base, ping the shield.
Yep.
And then K2 is going to run over the tank for 5 total damage, so 2 overwhelm. And then when it dies, 3 more.
Yeah, I took 5 already.
Cool. Did you take the 2 overwhelm?
Yeah.
Cool.
So
We're good
3
then.
from that, and then 2 over 1.
Yep. You got it already.
Yes, sir. You have 5 resources
I have
left.
5 up.
That's unfortunate. I'll play the fireball. It gets shielded, and I'll just kill that.
Okay.
Pop the shield, obviously, when it comes in.
Sounds good. I'm just going to play blue leader and run into Yularen.
Okay.
Got him finally.
And that.
And Kaz died last turn, right?
I believe you can use Kaz.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I'll play Falcon.
I will ping.
I'll use Kaz to blank the Falcon and do 3 to base. Excuse me,
I
I'll blank
will-
the Fireball and not blank the Falcon.
Okay.
So
no, fine.
still 3 though. And then I will bamboozle that,
Yep.
and I'll pass.
I think we just do that. All right. How much have we got here? 12. I'm gonna timely green squadron A-wing and knock that out.
Okay.
So that cost me a total of 3.
Man, where's the Poe and Wrecker, right? If you just stick one of those on the ground, call it a day.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm doing a great job of not finding them.
You're ahead now with the timely.
I'll play
Saving yourself
Lauren,
3
and I'll
damage is interesting.
choose, you think I do Sentinel or Shielded, Kyle?
That's a good question. Probably Sentinel, right? If you're trying to just because he's ahead in the race here.
Well, I mean, it's 12-6, so I'm winning damage-wise, but...
No, you're not winning damage-wise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Other direction.
Other way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
I'll choose Sentinel.
You're behind, right?
Yeah, I'll put
That's why
3 on base.
when he, I mean, I'm going to assume you have a Cassian in the row. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you do, I don't know about that ambush.
I'll play the Speeder.
And it's got a Sentinel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your Lauren's just doing work.
I think I just play that anyway.
I'll kill it.
Yep. Fine.
I'm tapped out. I'll use Kaz to blank the Falcon and pass.
All right.
Yeah, I really like how I haven't seen Poa Wrecker yet, but don't love my position.
All right. So
Yeah, either one of them the last couple of turns would have been really problematic.
Another timely, jeez.
timely. Wrecker.
There he is.
5 Lauren and then 4 Overwhelm.
Yeah, and we're gonna destroy that. And I take 3 back, right?
Yep. Yikes.
Needed that.
If you can't handle Wrecker, what do you got to just claim, right?
Yeah, I just have to claim.
Can't handle me, a Wrecker. You don't deserve me at my Sabine. 3 to base.
Wrecker ending games. That's what he does.
Yep. And then you can ping one,
Might
too.
as well ping as well. Jeez.
Yeah, you got it. I could drew those two, but GG.
Yeah, I got a good draw there.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the timelies, but I don't know if they're still doing that. But when we've talked before, you've talked about a lot of other Sabines not running timely anymore.
Yeah, well, that was last set, but
Okay.
I run 2 timelies in this build.
I love timely.
So that was pretty tough for Kaz, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think,
He got behind the 8
get-
ball early.
yeah. I mean, you didn't get Poe Wrecker till late, and then you even really got what you wanted with Yularen was really doing work there, and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, I just didn't get the I still haven't seen the early corporate defense shuttle into Falcon, which I would really love to see, but that one didn't feel that great.
The other weird part about Yularen is that he's done a lot of good work. However, he's another ground target for Poe and or Wrecker.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of a weird double-edged sword there.
If I had time, I would have put a blaster on him or something, but I just didn't get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Not bad though.
Not bad.
Well, friends, giving some more insight into ourselves, I have small children, and the eye in the sky is going to have to duck out while you finish these games.
Okay.
Sounds good, man.
Nice chatting with you, bro. See you
Appreciate
later.
you having me.
Yeah. Had fun today. Talk to you later.
See you.
Later, dude.
All right, moving on to Quin on my end. I think Kaz performed okay, but still want to do some more testing there. Not bad overall, though.
Yeah, Kaz I thought was good, but still needs a little bit of refinement.
Yep.
And
That's
some of that
what I
may
would
just be
say
tactics,
also.
right? How do you resource properly? How do you play with what you have differently? Maybe there is an answer in there, which we can go back and watch the replay at some point. And
Well, that's the
some analysis.
thing about playing decks like this is that, you know, Quin, Sabine, Han, Cat, these are all very well-established decks, so it takes a while to make sure that you're getting things done.
Yep.
All right, so moving on to Quin here. I played probably like 50 games with this deck. I like it. It feels good. It feels like there are a couple unfair things you could do, which I like. And here, let's roll.
Red. Every time.
Red it is.
Every time.
Yep.
It's totally loaded.
Gotta call those guys at Metal Fab. Okay, so
I'd keep it, but I don't love it.
I really want to keep this card, but let's see. Okay, you're up.
All right. Yeah, I gotta play it.
Okay. I'll play Sabine and ping.
You want Tarkintown too?
Yeah.
Because I'll just claim after that, but...
And pass.
All right.
So you're just trying to get the Tarkintown out of the way there?
That's the thought. And now we play a little weird. That's a bit of a blowout. I think we just play blue leader.
Okay. 3 to base.
Yep.
Oh, we gotta change this. I'm playing Sabine,
It's Quin
not
ECL.
Quin. Yeah.
No, that's okay.
Where's that? It's right there. There you go.
Sweet.
I'll play the Falcon. I'll ping, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna
Yeah,
attack
it's
into it.
rough. I
And
will,
then- Yeah, I'll
claim
kill
and
the blue
lose it.
leader. And I'll pass.
All right.
I'm gonna bring the Falcon back to my hand.
Okay. I can do that. Ready to go?
Yep.
I think I'm still doing the crazy stuff. We're going to ECL K2 in Overwhelm 2.
Just one,
Or
right?
Overwhelm 1, take 2. That's what I meant.
Okay. I'll play Ahsoka and ping with Quin.
Okay, I'll ping in just a second. I'll discard Heroic Sacrifice.
Okay.
So we'll flip that to a 3. We'll flip Sabine Ren.
I'll claim.
I'll knock your base for 3 more. And I'm good to go.
Okay.
All right, ready to rock.
I'll kill K2.
Yep. I think Ahsoka survives. Ahsoka survives.
Oh, yeah,
She's-
sorry.
Here you go. Cards in hand? Yeah,
5.
3 to base. We'll add 3 more.
I'll deploy Quin.
Sabine's Masterpiece.
I'll play the Falcon and ping.
I will claim.
So I'm torn here if I want to try to clean the board up. I think that's what I should probably do. The question is do I want to do it that way or this way? I think I'll just attack and do it that way. And yeah. All right. I'll surprise strike Quin into Sabine.
Okay.
And then you're going to claim, right?
I'm going to claim.
I'll kill that.
Yeah.
Take 3 back. And I'll pass.
All right. Okay.
So I'm at 6 resources. I'll take it back to my hand.
Okay. Ready to rock?
Yep.
Wrecker's here is going to kill Quinlan.
Okay.
We'll destroy Bright Hope from the row.
Okay. I'll force throw an Ahsoka and do 4 there.
Okay. That's a 3 and a 1. Paying 1 each.
I'll kill Wrecker.
Yep, I will claim.
I'll play Poe.
Yikes.
And I'll pass.
Using my own tricks against me.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, boy.
So Quin just feels like it has endless amounts of tools.
There's a lot of good stuff there.
I think I'll probably play these two this turn, or maybe something with Smuggle.
I think just start with Cassian from the row.
Okay. And you're at 1 resource up?
1 resource up, correct.
I'll do 6 to base with Quinlan, or with Poe. I'll discard 1 to do 2 to Cassian.
Okay, Cassian takes 2. Oh, I got some ships over here.
And how many cards do you have in your hand? 3?
3.
Okay, I'll let you keep them.
Cassian's going to run into Poe for 3.
Okay. I thought you'd still be pushing damage, so maybe I fucked that up, or messed that up, excuse me.
We can edit that in post.
Yeah, I play Falcon.
Ping 1 each.
3 to base.
Okay. And I will claim.
I'll smuggle out L3. And I'll pass.
Okay.
Not going to resource, staying at 7.
I will resource. I believe that puts me at 7 again.
Or 8. Or because you didn't resource
No,
the turn.
I blew 1 up.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. So at least I know that Timely Wrecker can't come, but Timely Poe can.
So, Timely.
Yep.
K2.
To kill Poe, I assume.
Kill Poe. And we'll do a total of 4 to base because of 3 plus the overwhelm.
Okay. 3 to base.
I think I ping anyway.
2 to base.
And then I claim.
I'll play Han.
Mm-hmm.
The new sectional, right?
Yeah,
That's
there
the
we
only
go.
place you get it, right? So sectors, I think.
Sectors, I think.
Or the
yeah,
internet.
that's the one, right?
Yep. And I'll pass.
I think I'm a little bit. I went reaching. I didn't reach what I needed to because I got a far cause, but it won't matter.
GG.
GG. All right. All right.
That looked
Yeah, I got a
pretty
little
good.
behind there.
Yeah, I mean the Falcons to kill those ships really slowed you down.
It did, and I was only drawing those. I wasn't drawing
So I think I bring these in.
some of the stuff I was hoping for.
I feel like these are pretty tailor-made for this matchup. And what do I take out? Man, being able to do the force throw stuff is really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers.
Maybe I just like chill out on the hand hate stuff in this matchup. Because you're just top decking so much anyway.
That's a possibility. I don't know how much it actually helps against an aggro deck in this form.
I mean, like the Ahsoka stuff is nice. Don't get me wrong, right?
I agree. I just don't
And
know
like
if you need
Kira and
extra.
stuff, but I don't know if I need. Like I took out Sparks and I put in the hover tanks.
Yeah, I don't know how much
Spark and
extra
Tech I took out.
you would want.
Yeah, so I mean, playing that, you just feel like how much more solidified it is than Kaz.
It's definitely got a lot more established both
Play
play
lines,
lines
yeah.
and a more established feel to it.
Yeah. So Kyle did just duck out, but he'll be coming back here very regularly. He'll be back here in person likely. Kyle lives about an hour from where Sharkey and I live, so it's harder to get him into studio, as they say. We also have a really large team where we have, about 15 to 20 people who are regularly practicing. We'll be bringing those guys on throughout the rest of the set and beyond as we get some more content going, as well as just deck tech videos, breakdowns, and all that good stuff.
Yep, agreed all around.
See, as a Sabine player, last set specifically, because I haven't played much Sabine this set, but I didn't like the Quinlan matchup. In the PQ that I won in Albuquerque, I ended up playing a Quin in the finals, and I was able to scrape it by.
I feel like these are big.
Yeah, the Sundari are big. Some people are saying that Sundari is not as big as it used to be in the aggro matchups, because the aggro matchups now are doing more burst damage with pilots and stuff, but I don't know. I'm still a Sundari truther.
I think Sundari is huge here.
And now that we have the Darksaber back in the mix too, it feels very nice to be able to buff stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Sundari is huge here. There you go. That'll be shuffle-ish.
Quin does feel nice though.
Quin feels nice. And I liked playing it too when I was on the other end with it. I don't mind Quin. It's very easy to pick up from a Cad Bane player perspective.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly the same, but it is similar.
And don't mind me, I just need to check my eBay bids on this Quinlan showcase. How much time's left? An hour and 7 minutes now. It's at 194. I'm not sure what my limit should be here, but it's not that much higher than 194, I'll be honest. What a terrible hand. Falcon, 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 Plo, and Poe.
Jeez.
That's beautiful.
I'm debating whether I even keep this one and do I get cute with it? Because you don't have one drops in here, right?
No.
Yeah.
I have the basics, Battlefield Marine, Sabine, both A-Wings, and and then Luke, 2 Lukes.
I think I toss it back. Here. I'm going to toss that hand back and we're going to see what we get. And when we go back and do our post-game analysis episode later, I will make fun of myself.
Ugh, I don't have a turn 1 play. I'm putting it back. I'm cheating. That's 2 hands, no turn 1 play.
Yeah, it's not great testing.
Not versus Sabine, at least.
Yeah. We're not doing super strict on this one yet because we're still getting a feel for...
Yeah. We want them to be good games,
Yeah. There you go.
And then, the Kaz and Quin matchups, there were some hands that weren't so great, but I still had turn 1 plays. So it gives you some sort of representation.
Right. So it's my turn to cheat.
Go for it. Cheat away.
All right. I'm only going to do the next one. We're going to make it work otherwise.
Yeah. This feels okay. I have a nice curve here.
Here you go.
Some force users, which is always nice. That's one thing that's interesting about this Quin build is that some people aren't playing Grogu or Anakin. Some people are to turn it on early with force throw.
Yeah. All right. We have a hand that I like. I think we try that. All right.
Okay.
Rock.
Yep. You have initiative, yep. Okay. So you don't want to pass there or do any of the nonsense? You're trying to get it out of the way? I hear you.
I just get it out of the way.
There you go, and I'll ping.
I'm going to claim.
And Tarkintown.
Yep.
Pass.
So I actually, believe it or not, have a plan.
Nice. Yeah, some Quin players, I personally like to ping versus Quin and Cad, but it just depends.
Yeah. And my idea is to do something real dumb and ECL Sabine in.
Just Sabine?
Kill
Okay.
Sabine.
Bold move. Let's see if it pays off for you.
Bold move gotten.
Red 5, no
Oh,
ping,
boy.
obviously.
I'll claim.
I'll pass. So my hand's pretty perfect right now for this matchup, I think. I have the stop for this and that. If I wanted to, I could try to block the Darksaber if it's coming.
I'm going to start by hitting your base for 3.
I think you got it right, because then I could just take my 3 and kill Sabine.
That's exactly why we did that. I think we throw Sabine's Masterpiece out there.
Okay. I'll play the Shadowed Hover Tank.
Gotcha. I'll flip Sabine.
I'll claim.
I think I still trade here.
You don't trade though.
Oh, she does 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna trade then. I'm gonna pass.
So you just want to claim?
Yep.
Or
No, I
I've
pass.
claimed. Yeah. So
So.
got it.
Yep.
That's
I should
unfortunate.
Probably read the cards that I'm playing.
Yeah.
Going to 5. All right, that's gonna be a luxury.
I'll take 5 to base.
5 to base.
Figured let you have to come into it rather than me. Whether if you want to ECL something or you can't actually. Whether you want to timely. Ooh, Chewy.
Chewbacca.
That
into
hurts.
Sabine's Masterpiece.
3 to base.
Okay. I think, let's see. Yeah, we're going to knock that out and do 1 damage here.
Okay.
And I take 3.
That's nice with the ability.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll deploy Quin.
I think I kill it.
Okay. And 1 to base.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry, I dropped a token. I'll get that later.
How dare you? Excuse me.
3 to base.
All right. Claim.
I'll play the Falcon.
That.
And I'll kill there.
Okay.
And pass. Yeah, that Chewy I can't let just sit there and do a bunch of damage to me.
I would agree with you. But I still think that was my
No, I think that's a good plan.
only play. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I need to keep it close before we get too far along here, and I don't know that I'm doing a great job of it. Let's see. All right, so I have an interesting hand. I think we do that just to make him have to deal with it. So we're going to go ahead and just play Wrecker.
You gonna blow one up or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to blow up a Green Squadron A. And I think that's the
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely someone I can't just leave there. So
kind of my thought.
I'll surprise strike into it and trade.
Okay. I will claim. Ping.
Okay. Cards in?
3.
3. I'll play the Falcon
Claim.
and then do 3 to base. And I'll pass.
I might be pinging too much.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, you're getting pretty high at 17, so. One thing I just noticed about Quin is this, like, I feel like I always have some BS to add to the mix, whether it's a blaster or a surprise
Yeah.
strike or
Some extra kind of crap you can throw in
yeah.
there. What is my best path forward here? I think I put a big threat on the field.
Yeah. Play Ahsoka.
I will. That's actually not an easy choice. I'll discard K2.
Okay. I'll force throw you.
Oof. Blue leader.
Okay.
There it is.
Claim.
I already claimed. No, I claim that. Give me that.
Oh, you claim.
You just forced through me.
Yeah. 3 to base.
3 to base.
Fess.
I knew what you were doing. It's okay.
Yeah,
jeez.
subtly trying to cheat, obviously.
No, you were fine. I just thought it was funny. The issue I have is that I don't really have an answer to the dang Falcon. Not anymore after all that either.
Yeah.
Let me look at this. What do we got here? I gotta do some math here. All right, there's a theoretical out, but I don't think it's going to work. So we're going to just try it.
Okay, let's do it.
Kill there.
Okay.
Discard that. Do 2 damage up there. I don't really know what our real plan is, but we're trying it.
3 to base.
Clayton.
Let's see. What do I have down here?
Not a whole lot left that I can feel like I know how to do.
Yeah. I'll just put down a Plow.
Yeah.
And I'll pass.
I don't think there's anything that exists in this deck that can stop it. I'll just record Plow because it's funny.
Okay. GG's.
GG's.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I've, just from the Sabine player perspective, is that the addition of Shadowed Hover Tank in here really sucks.
Sucks for the Sabine player, yeah.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic one. I feel like I was still really wishing I could find Sundari Peacekeepers, and I did not. The Chewie play was a bit of a Hail Mary as the Tarkintown was already gone.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I didn't keep the original first hand is that the only sequence of play that I could have followed was Phoenix Squadron into Chewie, and that wasn't likely to survive. So, yeah, that was the thought process there. Now, I'm almost on the 3 Sundari main deck train, but that might just be my preference.
Oh, yeah, right now I'm in testing. I want to get Chewie in there just to see how it goes, really, especially with Control coming back up. But so far with these games, it seems like Quin's the MVP.
Yeah, and I also, on the Chewie note, feel like if it's going to be a Control matchup thing, I think you just sideboard him and bring him in for that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to main deck him.